My name is Laura Guccione. I'm from Alton, Illinois, and my living is through my business, YogaWrap Spine Support, which manufactures, markets, and sells the product, YogaWrap Spine Support. It's the solution to eliminating symptoms caused from sitting, whether it's in a car, at your desk, or on your next flight. This unique, simple design is encased urethane foam inside of a cotton cover that Velcros open or shut. The belts are lined with a non-slip fabric so that it won't slide around your chair. The tube has a notch cut down the center so that there's no pressure on the vertebra. This allows first contact to be made on your erector muscles, which run down either side of your spine. And it also anchors the upper torso off the waist and creates an impression on those muscles so that when you stand up, muscle memory is engaged and it's holding this heightened stance. Each time you sit, the impression is accepted sooner and it lasts longer. This eventually becomes the dominant stance. And when these core muscles are lengthened, they are engaged. To prove this, 2 orthopedic surgeons, myself, and 19 participants created a study where we put a YogaWrap and 6 biofeedback points on the front and the back, and participants sat up against a chair with the YogaWrap showing muscle engagement. Then they sat up against a chair without a YogaWrap and showed no engagement. And eventually, unconsciously, most of us began to slouch and collapse. This is putting weight of the collarbone and the muscles on top of the respiratory system, weight of the floating ribs onto the digestive organs. In addition, if the thoracic spine is not in correct alignment, due to time at the computer or at the mouse or even at the steering wheel, there is overtaxing the wrist and the neck, which are not anatomically supposed to be in those positions. This creates pain, carpal tunnel, tension, headaches. This simple design can strap around any chair, car seat, or you can just stick it behind you. I've even seen it wrapped around pillows for couches and recliners. I also make an airplane-specific model that doesn't have the wings on it to just stick behind you. Plus, I have completed prototypes for a design that can clamp onto backpacks, kid carriers, and bike packs. I also have a list of sleep apnea success stories of guys that wear it to bed, but I created a more comfortable design that they can wear to bed. And what happens is that keeps the sternum open and the throat open so that doesn't occur. I'm seeking $450,000 in exchange for 10% of my company. Specifically, I would like to use $160,000 towards creating my team. My manufacturer is also my fulfillment house, so that's in place. But I'd like to hire an overseer, a social media director, and a marketing director. I would then like to put $30,000 towards hiring YogaWrap ambassadors to attend shows, and another $30,000 to cover the cost of those shows and the travel. Then $50,000 towards print advertisement, which has been a proven success for me. $10,000 to Sirius Radio, which customers have told me repeatedly I need to get into for the truckers. And $30,000 towards digital marketing. With increased sales, I'd like to also put increased inventory at $60,000 and another $25,000 towards new packaging and promotional materials. The first year, I can easily project $100,000 in revenue because I've come close to that before, with $250,000 the following year. I'd like to really focus on introduction into more retailers and particularly big box stores. I came up with this design concept almost 18 years ago, and I don't think the world was quite ready for it. But while I've been redesigning and perfecting this product, the rest of the world has embraced yoga, eating better, and realizing they are responsible for their own health. Simultaneously, the time spent sitting has increased for society. And this health-conscious society is actively looking for valuable, affordable tools that can help them feel better and stay better. And YogaWrap Spine Support provides this, plus it gives the user body awareness and core strength without effort or another activity added to their day, and that's empowering. My customers know that if they tolerate pain, discomfort, ignore their body's request for assistance, things are going to get worse, not better. Gravity's not going to stop. They must help themselves. YogaWrap Spine Support received its full patent in 2014. We just started in Natural Grocery Stores, which is an organic-based chain of 93 stores, and we are selling fantastic in our first half dozen. I have over 40 retailers made up of chiropractors, yoga studios, natural food stores, women's clothing, and truck stops. My online sales exist without an ad in over 3 years, solely by word of mouth, mostly professional referrals. What I've discovered is that this, without advertising or attending shows, the Yoga Wrap is proven. It has a reputation for good quality. Quickly show how I use it. I can just strap it around any chair, put it around your car seat, and you sit up against it. It is instantly comfortable. The sternum is open. You receive more oxygen. The rib cage is off of the digestive organs. The low back is elongated because the psoas is not crimped up trying to hold. And you get length and pressure off of the top of the sciatic nerve. I came up with this idea because I was hurting. My boyfriend at the time asked me to drive across the country. And to kick off the trip, we did a big hike into the Black Canyon in Colorado. And he came out with poison ivy all down the back of his leg. The driving was too painful for him. So I had to drive an F-350 with a stick, pulling a U-Haul for 5 days. Yoga had been a daily practice for a decade already at this point. So I was stuffing every prop I could to get my posture back to what the truck was trying to put me in. Initially, after we got to New Hampshire, I went to a chair manufacturer with this concept. This made no sense practically because it was limiting, expensive, and you couldn't wash it. I spent 3 years trying to get the density on the foam right when I knew I could put something inside of a cover. The spring back had to be correct, and the angle of the cut had to be the correct width so that the shoulder blades could go back and the lungs could expand more. I also had to be sure that the wings were in the correct alignment and that the flat side is cut correctly on the back of the Yoga Wrap so it stays put. Then I began to go into shows. My first shows were yoga festivals, which were still fairly new concept at this time, but they understood where I was coming from. Although most anybody does once you try it because it's discreet, but it feels so good. In 3 years, I grew from 1 seamstress to 5, with me doing most of the assembly and the packaging. I grew from $0 to $72,000. I was on a good roll with 12 to 15 wellness fairs, mother news fairs, and yoga shows. And then customs held on to my container for 2.5 months. It forced me to cancel 2 shows. I then spent the next year and over $20,000 trying to make SEO, Google AdWords, and Facebook ads work for me with awful results. Yet sales were continuing, and this is encouraging me to seek assistance from experts. Assistance on getting this logical tool out to anyone who suffers from sciatica, low back pain, neck pain, just to name a few of the symptoms that can be traced to poor posture, especially brought on from sitting. With regards to markets, I have focused on the health conscious and proactive enthusiasts. I've scratched the surface of the truckers, and their feedback and testimonials are encouraging. There are other markets with your help and my experience I would love to put Yoga Wrap in the hands of, like the woman with osteoporosis who reversed her shrinking and put 3/4 of an inch on. Or the young medical student who called me wanting to know why she hadn't used her inhaler in 3 weeks when prior to getting a Yoga Wrap had been a daily inhaler. This simple concept can help so many because it works with the body and its abilities. Yoga, specifically Iyengar yoga, was brought into my life in the early 90s. The knowledge that skeletal alignment has given me, I've used to stop 4 surgeries. Then I began to understand why the injuries were occurring at all. Yoga assisted in 2 pregnancies for me over 40 years old, and we were told that was impossible. And I've had experience and seen it happen, how yoga can reverse depression through proper alignment. I want to share this knowledge and this awareness with everyone, not just folks that can make it to the class. I'm honored to be one of the few businesses invited under the mission tent by the Multiple Sclerosis Society. Because they don't endorse products, the mission tent is set up at their rallies and their walks for businesses they appreciate and want to share. They understand that even if the cognitive ability is limited, the neurological pathways can still function for the benefit of our health. I am truly honored to be the only product endorsed by the top yoga instructor in the world, Patricia Walden. It was her words, "Get this out to people and tell them I say this is a good idea," that has kept me at it when the insurance went up and the white dog hair was all over the black ones.
and my $3,000 booth was ready, but my product didn't show up in time. I want people to feel better. I want them to know they can and should take responsibility of taking care of themselves. Here's an affordable product that can make that happen. And I really hope you get the opportunity to see that, because I want you to try a Yoga Wrap spine support now.